Jimmy Cox has recently won his 500th game as a Ravenscroft basketball coach. He is currently a physical education teacher for lower and middle school and coaches middle school boys basketball. Coach Cox has enthusiastically agreed to an interview about his 500th win and his outstanding career as a Ravenscroft basketball coach.
Hello, I am here with Coach Jimmy Cox, interviewing him on his 500th win here at Ravenscroft. I was at the game. You can tell we were playing that day. And
I will tell you, it
I
meant
miss you.
so much to me that you were there, and John and some other seniors, Brother Glenn, and people there from my first team. My starting point guard, and everybody. We had a lot of people back from other teams, but we played Durham Academy. It was always very, very good. In fact, in middle school, in the years of coaching middle school, they'd beaten us more than any other team that I've played against. I'm not saying they beat us more than we beat them, but they had the most success because they're very well coached. Their coaches related to Coach Krzyzewski by marriage, and we caught them on a night where we were pumped and they weren't, and we beat them pretty easily. And you can remember your year we split with them. They, we might have beat them both times, but one was over there by 2 points, and we killed them here. And they're always a tough win. And so if we're going to beat anybody, instead of beating our sisters that are poor, it's nice to beat a rival for the 500th win. And I felt pressure because I didn't know about it, them inviting everybody to the game. We could have lost. When they held up the 500 signs, I just wondered if they had $4.99 on the other side in case we didn't win. If they were all gonna, that was a pretty special night. It was meant a lot to me.
What was your first year here at Ravenscroft?
I was a senior at Carolina, and they needed an off-campus coach like we hire in other sports, and so I came over to coach the 9th grade basketball team, and that was November 11th, 1975 was my first practice as a coach on this campus. This building was 1 year old.
What would you say is your most memorable win here?
My most memorable win and my best win was 1980. We won the state championship. The only other one besides Coach Billum was a couple of years ago when we played in this gym, and we played against Laurinburg Institute, who had beaten us by like 28 points in the regular season. So we delayed all game, held the ball, and led 4-2 at the end of the first quarter and 11-10 at halftime, and we won 32-24 in overtime. So they were the better team, but strategy paid out that night. That's my best win.
What would you say is your most memorable loss?
The year after we won the state championship in '81, we had a chance to come back and defend our title, and in the regional finals, we had a situation where we had the ball 3 seconds to go, but the clock had 3 and 4 seconds on it, and so it was crazy if there was enough time, and we ran a play and scored, and one ref signaled good, the other ref signaled no good. And while we were celebrating, they ran off the court, and we lost by 1. And a week later, we got a letter from the head of the association saying they should have talked to each other and the basket should have counted. And so that didn't help us since they'd already had the state championship game, but that sticks in my craw, and it will forever. That was a horrible loss.
In light of recent news, like the passing of Dean Smith, would you say you look up to any coaches like himself?
Yeah, I mean, I looked up to Dean Smith. I have all his books, and when we won the state championship, I ran a lot of the stuff that he ran. I ran his offenses and his defenses, and still run a few. You know a few of his offenses, and you don't even know they're his, but you played for me. And he influenced a lot of people, but I worked for him every summer at camp, and he'd know your name when you walked by, and so I tried to do things like Dean Smith. I will tell you that one time when I was a young coach, he said, "Jimmy, what are your goals as a coach?" I said, "Coach, I'd like to be the next Dean Smith." And he looked at me and he said, "I think you should concentrate on being the first Jimmy Cox." I thought that was pretty cool advice. But yeah, I looked up to him a lot. So sad.
A change of pace. We noticed you do this.
Oh yeah, baby.
So can you tell everyone how that became a thing?
Well, there was a comedy team years ago back, Laurel and Hardy, and when one of them was saying, "I just don't know, Ollie," when he didn't know what was going on. So if a kid does something, or a player on my team does something, or even my 4th grade, in PE, if somebody does something that just makes no sense, instead of yelling, I just go, and everybody knows I'm just going like, "What are you doing?" And my 4th grader's in dance today. It was so funny because a kid kept turning the wrong way, and I went, "John," and he looked at me, and then everybody looked at him and went, and it just means like, "Hey, come on, you can do better." And and everybody knows what that means. If Bo Andrews, watching him play golf, he went over the green at Pinehurst on a hole you should never go over the green. He looks at me in the gallery and goes, "He was in a college tournament." I said, "Yeah, why'd you do that?" So.
We all know you have 500 wins. How many more wins can we expect from you?
Well, considering I'm a teacher and need to keep working, a lot more, I hope. I have no plans to retire, if that's what you're asking. I for one reason, I just enjoy what I do. I have a good time. At my 40th high school reunion, I said, I'm doing what I did when y'all last saw me. I'm playing. And I know that PE is not just play, but I get to, people come up to me during the day, little kids, what are we doing in PE today? I don't know if they go up to their math teacher and say, what are we doing in math? So I have a good job. I get to work with kids, I get to know them, and I get to work with kids who I worked with their parents. And so it's a pretty good place to be.
Coach Jimmy Cox, thank you very much.
Thank you, man. You're the best.